This week on the Steam Machine podcast, when it's the Turnip boy commits tax evasion. Rip, cue the music! Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always, actually, I got all my buddies here with me today, the Shoutout bros!
What's up?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Nate.
Welcome back, Nate. It's Willie.
And the Retrogue of the team, Mikhailov. How are you doing, buddy?
If you fail to commit tax evasion, does that mean that you rolled a nat 1 on your athletics check?
All right, that's pretty cute. That took me a minute.
All right, well then, gentlemen, welcome to the show. That's all. It's been good seeing you boys. It's time to wrap this up.
He rolled a 1 on his charisma check. Sorry, guys. Show over.
So man, how's everybody been doing? Let's start with Willie. You have glasses like me.
I've been sleeping because 2 days ago I had a phone interview for a job that seems pretty promising for kind of a warehouse position at an industrial supply company. The job starts at a pretty high pay for warehouse work with day one benefits, and I had a phone screener. So I was super nervous about the phone screener for some reason. Couldn't sleep that night. That was Tuesday, about 3 p.m. Afterwards, I've been sleeping about ever since, and now it is like Thursday at 6 p.m. when I woke up.
I know that you're super nervous about it, man, but like the fact that it's called Black Mesa has got to be just a coincidence. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You're gonna be fine.
It's cool. It's cool. I got a PhD from MIT, so they'll put me in the middle of the breaking boxes with a crowbar department.
Yep.
Just keep your eyes to the ceiling. Don't touch any dangling things.
Look, Gordon, a rope.
That's no rope.
That's Dalton's.
But yes. Whoa. We're still in the first minute. YouTube is going to cancel us.
I downloaded the wrong game. This is half-wife.
The dumb jokes keep coming and I love it.
Half-wife.
The word is midwife. Come on.
I'm just glad that I've been living that semi-charmed half-life.
So a quarter life?
I stole that joke from you guys.
Yeah.
My dumbass
It's okay.
jokes.
It made us giggle. Aside from that, no, not a ton going on. Still just trying to get back into exercise and good habits and stuff, which waking up at 6 doesn't sound like good habits, but is an indicator of other good things I've been doing up to that point. Been doing more coding. I haven't really messed with the game dev in a little bit, aside from the fact that I'm making a fun little chess viewer in Python, because I want to try to implement some stupid chess algorithms in it. I don't remember if I talked about that last episode or not.
I don't believe so.
So so far it's very basic. Like all I can do is read an FEN file and display it as an ASCII chessboard. But the next things I want to do is teach it how to recognize like legal board positions, illegal moves, and then basically program in some really simple algorithms to have it play back against you. Like non-sophisticated ones. Like instead of calling on real chess engines, it'll be more like heuristic ones, like take a list of all legal moves and pick a random one or pick the one that's alphabetically last or whatever, inspired by a video called ELO World by a guy called Sucker Pinch or Tom7 on YouTube. It's a really fun video if you haven't watched it. It's about 30 minutes long, and it's him coming up with 50 crappy ways to play chess and then having them all compete against each other in a tournament.
That's actually pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah.
Willie, I need you to create a small little game, and one of the characters in the game, you can name it Dalton, you can name it D, whatever you want to name it Philip for all I care. But I want him to be at a computer having a problem, and you have to have a little quest to help him solve the problem. And when he finally solves his problem, he gets his program running, and I want it to give you a Steam achievement that's called Nate Sucks.
That would be that would be such a deep cut if I could pull that off in a Steam
That would be
achievement.
such an in joke for the podcast listeners, but...
If I pop a game onto Steam with achievements, I mean, that might not be a 2024 thing, but we'll see.
And when Willie does make it as a game developer, there's going to be a Wikipedia article on that achievement and how it has to do with his brother sucking.
Fair enough.
Well, the thing is that he sucks. That's behind the scenes.
I do it in front of the scenes.
I believe we
too.
established...
It's just what I do.
I believe we established that all the way back in the No Man's Sky episode, if not earlier.
No, Nate doesn't suck. Nate fucks.
Nate fucks.
Well, we definitely built a base in No Man's Sky called Nate Sucks.
We did.
And I think Nate responded to that by building a base called Fix Forza Horizon 4.
Hey, guess what? They did. I fixed Forza Horizon 4. You're welcome.
All of our bases have no lies in them.
I forgot that's actually that's how that went down. That is fucking awesome.
I need
Steam
to play
Machine
that
Magic,
game.
dude.
I need to play that fucking game.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get around to it, bro.
It's-
I know that we keep saying that, but we are going to.
It's gotten to the point where it's become uncanny. The things that we've brought up on the show that have just happened. Specifically recently, just them just being like, oh yeah, by the way, here's Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare for PC. Enjoy.
Right?
You know what that means? Is we need to stop just like talking around it and just say it explicitly every episode. Bloodborne for Steam.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all.
How many
Listen,
times
you
we
played-
mentioned Silk Song and it's still not out?
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's the reverse curse. It's like the Portrait of Dorian Gray, where all of the sins for one gets put in the other. Every time we mention Silk Song, that takes the karma back out from all the other things we get fixed.
Hey,
The
we talked
creator's
about
waiting.
we talked about
go ahead.
Half-Life in the Patreon section, so maybe Half-Life 3 will come out.
Yeah, maybe. They had some big announcement for a Half-Life game or something, and they haven't talked about it since they said that they had an announcement for it, so there's no telling.
Well, we
You know,
just
they
talked
love to
about
dig
it.
Half-Life 2, Episode 3.
But, yeah, dude, there's a few different things that I'd like to see actually come to fruition. Bloodborne on PC would be one of them. That would be cool.
Although apparently PS4 emulation is starting to come to light. And the reason that people are working actively on a PS4 emulator is to be able to play
For
Bloodborne on
Bloodborne?
PC. Yeah.
Nice.
But I'd still like the online play it. I'm sure you can't emulate the online as well. Actually, does Bloodborne have online?
It's got
I'm
the
sure. I know it has bloodstains. I don't know if it has invasions.
that I don't know. I need to install Elden Ring and see if it'll let me online now.
See if your permanent ban has expired yet.
Yeah, see if it was really permanent or if it was just a bad translation. I'm sure it was really permanent, but you know.
One can hope.
They had to translate it from George. They had to translate it from George R.R. Martin to English.
Oh.
Now they're still waiting for him to write the email. Oh man. So what about you, Mikhailov?
I guess I'll give you the good news. Has nothing to do with gaming.
Okay.
So earlier this year, my doctor told me I was diabetic, and a good 3-4 months later, I am down 25 pounds, and my blood work is all in the green.
Sweet.
Nice.
I am
buddy.
a healthy motherfucker.
You love to
That's
hear
what's
it.
up.
You want to go on a jog sometime, man?
No cardio, but I have been going to the gym. Nefarious and I have been lifting weights. And
Oh, that's probably even better, just so you get your body composition down, because it's really about losing fat in particular, not just poundage.
So when we started, I was only able to lift 15-pound free weights. I can now lift 22.5-pound free weights, which doesn't sound impressive,
Which
it's a 50%
What, lift
increase.
those?
but for me, that's good.
what
Hold on,
I did not
hold on,
hear you,
hold on.
Nate.
Yeah,
I did not
just wanna-
hear you,
real
Nate.
quick. He just said what lift, and I just want to say that Nate Willie's like, that's a 50% increase. Nate's like, what lift?
look, I'm trying to be positive. If he's telling me that he can only deadlift 22 pounds, I'm going to shoot him.
You fucking brothers.
I'm the bro that's got you up right now. He's the bro that
he's like
drags
the
you down.
angel on that shoulder, on the devil on the other. Which is weird, because it's usually the reverse with us.
You do have red headphones on right now, which are now being translated to devil horns.
There's a devil?
Doom guy here to save the day.
That's a very
Yeah, they
awesome
pulled out
looking
this Doom guy.
Also,
Nate got me this Doom guy figure for Christmas, and I love this guy. Stick him near me so I could fist bump him every time I do something awesome. I fucking love this guy.
I weighed myself the other day, and I have put on, I think, like 15, 16 pounds since I lost my job, because I've just been sitting around playing video games. So I'm like, no, goddamn it, no. So my garage is now cleaned up enough that we have like a workout big machine thing with like the pulleys and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get out there and start using that again.
Nice.
Like, I need to not just sit here and stare at the screen all day every day.
Yeah, exercise wins, man. Before I had the sleeping all day thing, I was at least doing like daily morning calisthenics first thing in the morning, and then I'd started adding a kettlebell routine. So I had my floor cleaned up all nicely for that. But then I kind of took Monday off from doing anything, and then Tuesday I was freaking out about the work thing, and so I've been out for about 3 days. But I still feel like I'm starting up, and now everyone's talking exercise. It's got me motivated to get it going again tomorrow. Hell, maybe I'll even do some of the kettlebell routine before bed tonight. Just do some squats and overhead presses.
Also,
yeah,
Dalton,
well,
be careful with staring at screens, because I also went to the eye doctor today. I'm such an old fucking man. I went to the eye doctor today, and I got told that looking at screens all day is screwing up my vision. And so my prescription has changed again.
Have you tried doing that exercise where, like, after every 30 minutes of looking at a screen, you look at something that's at least 30 feet away for 30 seconds?
No, that's a thing.
It's like a way I've heard of to break up, like, eye strain from being on a screen or reading all day.
Huh.
That's hard to do. And, like, this is my office. Like, I work at this exact same seat as you're talking to me right now. Like, there's not 30 feet away to look in this room, man.
Is there a window to the outside?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, because, 30 feet in the house is a pretty...
I mean,
yeah.
What I end up doing is, if I'm at work, I'll just get up off the desk, and I'll just walk around and, BS with the kids, or
if you have a watch that does like a
torment them.
If you have a watch that does like an hour workout reminder thing, that's worth trying as well.
I mean,
try to get your eyes
my Apple Watch does a stand reminders. I just haven't programmed it to do it because it gets annoying.
Yeah.
Mine totally pings when I'm still asleep. I have no idea how it counts stems. I think it's because Nate gave it to me as a hand-me-down, so it might still be thinking about his resting heart rate from time to time.
But wait, you're talking about his resting heart rate or his resting bitch face?
Yeah, it's always thinking about Nate's resting bitch face. We're always thinking about Nate's face.
Every night before I go to bed.
3 minutes.
With that retro handheld going.
Yep. Usually a retro handheld.
Is that a Pow Kitty time or more of an Amber Mix situation?
Oh no, we're definitely Pow Kittying.
Like the devil's got your hands.
The devil's hands are idle playthings.
That's Anne Berlin, for those that are listening.
Oh, that was the... Okay, I was like, that's so familiar. I know the song. I didn't put together the actual joke.
Devil's got your hands.
Yeah, okay, you got me.
Hey, Nate,
that does not look good on my waveform.
What's the name of that band again? The one with the
Machine Head.
with the album. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
Got a machine hand. That's what I call my dick. Anyway,
So,
well, I'm glad you're doing healthy, man. That's good.
yeah, I mean, game wise, I wish I could say I was doing more, but I don't know. I guess I beat a game in the last 2 weeks because it was a short game, but I don't know.
Is that the game we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah. All I'm going to say about that right now is if I had a nickel for every game that I played where humanity was destroyed and vegetables were alive and sentient, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird that it's happened twice.
Fair enough, man. Well, what about you, Nate? What you been up to, my good sir? You haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, I was here for the short games for Halloween episode, but I guess since I've been on the show a lot less, I've been going back to my roots a little bit more and playing a ton of Metroidvanias lately. I've been getting into a lot of them. I think the first game I played when I stopped...
2D open world games.
Sure, Mikhailov. But Guacamelee 2, I finally got around to playing it because we did Guacamelee for the show. It's one I wanted to play for a really long time and just did not want to put Dalton through it. So
Thank you.
So I kind of sat on it, and then I finally played through it, and it was fantastic. I played through... I started on Cave Story, and I just did not really jive with it. I don't know why, it just did not grab me, so I kind of dropped it off of Cave Story. But then I played another one called Axiom Verge, which is a very cool little game. So Axiom Verge feels like what the original Metroid wanted to be. It's very much in that almost the 8-bit style. I know it's upgraded 8-bit because nothing really does the true 8-bit style anymore, but That's kind of the vibe it went for. And you have different kinds of weapons. They're all guns. And then the bosses are very, very Metroid-y. And even has like the breakable blocks like Metroid does. It just does everything that I think Metroid was trying to do better. Because, modern systems, modern times, modern technologies. But it was a single person developed game. And I think it was really, really good especially for that.
I wish I knew that you were playing that game. I would have put that on your Pow Kitty.
I've already finished it, but I really, really did enjoy that one. And then, obviously, we were talking in the Patreon section, if you were able to listen to that. If not, give $1. But I played through Islets, which is a really cute, cozy Metroidvania that I liked a lot. But yeah, just a lot of Metroidvanias, and I've been happy to get back into that.
2D open world games.
Yeah, I did play through Wonder Boy 3, which was fun. It definitely shows its age, even with the upgraded graphics. But it was still a good time, and I'm glad I played through it. Did not want to go for 100% on that one, but I did enjoy it.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But for when it came out and everything, it's a very fun little romp. And I am such a sucker for that thing that games do now when they do remakes where you can swap the graphics back to how they originally look. And like that one was cool because you could swap the sound too.
Yeah.
So it was like you could swap them. So you could have like new graphics, old sound, or old graphics, new sound. It was cool.
Yeah, and because of that, I went and played that Gargoyles remastered game too that I had on Amazon Games. And dude, you can't fix a bad game just by upgrading the graphics and stuff. Like, that game was not good to begin with. I never played it before. It was a Genesis game originally. And upgrade graphics look great, but good grief, that game is not fun.
Is it kind of like if they tried to make a newer, better looking version of Batman Forever?
I don't think it was quite that
I think it was Batman Forever.
Yeah, Batman Forever. I don't think it was quite that bad of a game, but I don't know. The Genesis did not have the best platformers if the name Sonic the Hedgehog wasn't attached to it.
That's fair.
I was going to give credit to Aladdin, but that's a cross-platform game.
But they're different games.
Yeah,
the SNES game and Genesis games
are different games? Okay.
Very different.
I remember vaguely liking The Lion King, but also that it was really frustrating. Rocket Knight Adventure
was good. Vector Man was good. But, just overall, I think
it doesn't compare to Nintendo, yeah.
I feel like the Genesis was better for like fighting games and sports games because the controller had the 2 extra buttons.
That's definitely what they sold it on.
Yeah, they were definitely selling on sports because sports games on the Nintendo weren't very good, and the Genesis was able to... The graphic style on the Genesis was better able to pull things off for sports than the Super Nintendo could, IMO.
I feel like Super Nintendo, when they wanted to make sports games, they really leaned too much on Mode 7 effects that I think looked terrible even at the time and aged even worse.
Mode 7's funny. Mode 7 is an actual thing that existed, unlike blast processing, but I'll take blast processing over Mode 7 any day.
Oh, that's what I was trying to think of. I was like, the blast processing in the Genesis.
Yeah.
And yet there are Super Nintendo games that have aged so gracefully.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger being one of them.
I was actually going to say, though, there's some that age gracefully except the Mode 7, like Final Fantasy VI, where everything looks awesome until you get into the airship and everything's flat and stupid looking.
Yeah.
Which, I have to try the Pixel remaster because I want to see what they've done to improve that, if anything. Probably nothing, because that would destroy the feel of the game, but...
Yeah.
Literally the only complaint I've ever heard anyone have about the Pixel remaster is that they don't like how dense the font is.
Just such a silly complaint.
But they changed that.
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah,
cool.
No, they updated the games so that when you go into the settings, there's now a classic font option that fixes all of everybody's complaints about the font.
Nice.
Awesome.
Then the other thing I wanted to bring up was my good friend sent me a birthday present a little bit late, but he got it, and I really like it. Mikhailov sent me a Pow Kitty, so I have a huge repository of retro games that I can play at any time handheld now, which is awesome. I've started playing through the Super Famicom fan translation of Dragon Quest 1.
Oh, hell yeah!
So that's been a good time. The interesting thing is, I really would have thought they would have made more quality of life updates to Dragon Quest 1 when putting it on the Famicom, but it's still very much the first Dragon Quest 1. But
I mean, a lot of the quality of life updates for Dragon Quest 1 actually happened when they translated it into English the first time, because before then it only had billboarded sprites that always faced forward. You had to enter what direction you wanted to do commands in. A few of them weren't put together into one command, like the use command didn't exist or whatever.
But I will say that what they did do is, like, the graphics look very, very nice, and what they really improved on the most, I think, is the music. So, like, it sounds like Dragon Quest is supposed to sound on that.
God, that original Dragon Quest music is so iconic.
Yeah.
I love how it just, like, it really just sounds like you should take out a harpsichord and just bang that whole thing out, you know?
Yeah. So, Nate.
I just always think of that original castle thing, like, do.
It sounds so good on the Super Famicom version.
Oh, I gotta hear that sometime. I'm gonna actually look into that.
It's part of why I liked... sorry, Dalton, go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that was part of why I really liked Dragon Quest Builders, because it had all that music in it from the original game. And
those games are great.
When I showed up to a ruined town in that game for the first time, and it was one of the towns from Dragon Quest 1, I was like, oh, wow.
They always get me with that. In Dragon Quest 11, they did something really similar, and it's like, oh, come on, what happened here? I used to love this place.
Yeah.
I mean, in 11S. That wasn't in the original 11. The time travel stuff was mostly in S.
The Dragon Quest Builders games are really fun too, because they're basically just Minecraft but in the Dragon Quest world, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
Nate, I know you're.
I feel like I could get lost in those if I started playing.
I mean, that's why I never finished them, because you can get lost in them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I know you're gonna try not to buy games this year. I know you're trying to finish, but you realize today Dragon Quest 3 HD remake came out.
That came out today?
Oh,
I believe it came out today.
Oh,
He's going on Steam right now.
I am, literally.
Today or tomorrow. One of the two. It is like, creeping up.
No, it's out today. It's definitely out today.
Why is it $60, though?
I know!
Because it's Square Enix.
Oh, man, listeners, you could not see Nate's genuine face of sadness right there.
Yeah. His excitement,
be like 40, but...
You could pinpoint the exact moment where his heart's broke in half.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm probably still going to do it.
Yeah, it's like, damn.
If it was cheaper, he just would have bought me a copy too.
That's also true.
Yeah. He would have been considering coming back to the show and just making everyone play it, which isn't a terrible idea.
That isn't a terrible idea at all.
I just think it was so funny.
You're a patron. You could do your patron pick.
Oh my god, we haven't actually had anyone invoke that in forever.
I was the last
person
one
who did, I think, was either Mikhailov or Jeff, one of the two.
It was me.
I was gonna say it was either Free Space or you.
Then the 1 and 2 HD remake come out next year. I'm like,
yeah, it's amazing. They went so radio silent for a long time on the 3 remake that I remember we brought it up one time on the show. We were like, dude, I wonder if that's even still a thing. And then all of a sudden they're just like, boom, here it is, boom, it's coming out in a month. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's the way
forgot that was coming out until you just said it, you son of a bitch.
Well, we were talking
Cheating
about Dragon
at golf.
Quest.
Huh?
I was like, oh, man.
Cheating at golf. Bam, bam.
Dragon Quest 3 HD remake.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Well, I just added it to my wish list, at least.
So I guess that just...
Mikhailov, what were you, like, nodding your head and looking confused? Were you trying to clock the song?
Yeah.
It's Breaking the Law by Judas Priest.
That's right. Okay.
Out of work and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that just leaves me.
Yep.
Or unless, Nate, was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I'm good.
No? All right. So...
I think his stride has completely been broken by this. We're lucky if we get him back for this episode.
He's I'm playing it right now. Peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
I've been dabbling in a few different things. I've been diving back into Red Dead 2, playing some of that. I'm up to the pivotal story moment that we did not make it to for the actual episode. So that's been interesting and getting into that part of the game. I have been messing around in Final Fantasy 11 still. Made a new character on a different server. Just despite Mikhailov, because he was like, there's nobody in this screenshot that you sent. There's no players. So
Still not hearing the end of it.
I went to a server with some players, and I've been playing over there too. Working my way towards max level on Warrior. Diana's in town, so we've been hanging out. So we went to the Jacksonville Zoo, which was a great time. I loved the zoo. And of course, the whole way there, I'm bragging about how big the gators are in the Wild Florida area. And then we get there and there's construction in the Wild Florida area. The gator part is drained and there's not a single gator in it.
Yeah, that's how it was when I was there last two in April.
I was like, damn it, man. And there was one gator in like the South America area. Like there was an enclosure that had a big old gator in it. But
dude, if you wanted to take her to see big gators, you should have just took her to the alligator farm in St. Augustine.
Oh, so last time she was here, we went to the alligator farm. Because when we were at the alligator farm, we got to see 2 caiman have sex. Yeah, remember all that? Yeah, this is like everything decided to mate while we were there. Yeah. But yeah, the zoo's great, man. The elephants were all out and doing their thing. Cool. I'm curious if one of the elephants, they used to have an elephant that was donated to the zoo by Michael Jackson.
It's
and
the
I wonder
giraffe.
If he's still
it was the giraffe.
Oh, is it the giraffe?
Yeah, I met that giraffe. I got to feed that giraffe.
Dude, so we almost did the giraffe feeding, but I think we had missed the timing space for it. I don't know if it was just a thing we could go up and do. But while we were standing there, one of the giraffes just came like walking up. I'm just like looking at us from like, 3-4 feet away. And I'm just like, I'm looking at a giraffe, okay? And this is something I wanted to bring up to you boys. When I look at a giraffe, I am reminded that nature is fucking wild and that there are creatures that we don't see every day that are wild animals that are so alien looking. Because if you look at a giraffe, they are all leg and neck. Their body is so just like condensed into like squish, and then they just have like this long ass neck, big head, but their actual body is maybe 4 feet long. Like,
yeah, giraffes are weird, dude.
They're super weird.
They look like someone making shit up.
Like one of the young ones, I guess he doesn't have his wits about him fully yet. But he was like having to lean down to eat some grass off the ground, and he was having to spread his front legs really wide and then lean down. And he looked so cute. Like it was.
I have seen the stupid baby giraffe move before, and it is a very funny every time.
Yeah, dude, it was adorable. So that was great. It was great to go to the zoo without 2 young boys who didn't listen and ran around, and I had to wrangle them in. It was nice to go with an adult.
I'm sorry we were a problem last time.
Hey, Dalton.
Yeah.
How do giraffes like their beer?
I don't know.
Long necks.
Tumbling is good too, though. Actually, damn.
So on the way out, on the way in, there's a snake with a bunch of names on them for all these people that donated when they were rebuilding the entrance to the zoo. And I found the stone with my name on it that my grandpa had donated, and got my name on there. And I took a picture of it. It's faded. It's been there for a long ass time now. But yeah, that was a good memory of him while I was there. And then also on the way out. Now, I don't mind spending money at the zoo because that money goes back into the zoo. I want the zoo to continue thriving. So I bought some shirts. I bought a shirt for me. I bought a shirt for my mom. I bought a shirt for my dad. It was about $100 for the 3 shirts, right? That's not the issue here. I know the shirts were going to be expensive. My issue is that I was thirsty. And I went over to the little cooler that they had, and I got a can of Diet Pepsi. Now, I am holding up a can of Pepsi Zero, but this is a normal can. It was a normal can of Diet Pepsi. That normal can of Diet Pepsi cost me $4.49.
Oh my!
And I was like, "Hot damn!"
I know, because when I was there, I bought a can of Gatorade, which I'd never seen a can of Gatorade before.
Yeah,
and it was about the same price. I was like, "Wow!" But like, I thought it was cool for the novelty of having canned Gatorade.
Yeah. But yeah, and again, though, like I don't mind because the money goes back to the zoo. And like,
oh, Florida, you crazy!
I want to see the animals do well. You know what I mean? I've been going to that zoo my entire life, literally. So it's like I would like to see that if that zoo ever closed, I would boohoo cry like a little baby, like for days. So we did that.
Speaking of the Jacksonville Zoo, like you saw that they had the somebody had made a mod to put the Jacksonville Zoo in Planet Zoo, right?
Yeah. And the way Planet Zoo works was I downloaded that mod and I loaded into it, and it popped up and told me that I don't own like 7 mods or 7 DLC that is needed for it, right? Because you need like South America for the Jaguar and all that stuff. But they were all there. I could look around the zoo,
okay,
and all of the animals were there and stuff. But I was not able to change or save anything.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's like when you don't have a license for Excel and it lets you open it read only.
Yeah,
that's probably a better solution to what I would have thought of, which is just lock you out.
So I did explore it, and for what you can do in Planet Zoo, they did a good job. Now, I will say, the zoo in the game is laid out slightly more like how I remember it being laid out when I was younger, whereas when me and Diana were walking around, I was like, oh, this area is different. Oh, this area is an aviary now. Okay. Like, there was always the aviary when you first walk into the zoo. It's like one of the first things right there on the left, but now there's a second one back somewhere, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Cool though. I mean, I love birds. Like they have some beautiful birds there. Like they have these 2 parrots that are like paired, and the male and female, and one of them's like red and green, and the other one's like blue and yellow, and they're just beautiful birds. But yeah, so we did that. Let's see, what else did we do? We went to Gainesville and roamed around there. Went to so Adam, I'm going to tell you this. I think your country needs to sue Outback Steakhouse for putting a bad name out there for Australia, because let me tell you, dude, we went and I ordered a bloomin' onion, which was delicious. I'm glad they didn't fuck that up, because got a salad was good. Then I ordered like a bacon cheeseburger, and Diana had ordered just like a regular cheeseburger. And I got my burger and I start eating it, and I'm like, this tastes like a lunchroom cafeteria burger. It's probably just a frozen patty that they cooked up. Whatever. So Diana takes one bite of hers, like with a fork, like just the meat, and she's like, this is kind of cold. This isn't very good. So she's just not going to eat it. Okay, that's fine. So I keep eating my burger because I'm fat.
Relatable.
and I was hungry. And I'm like, it's going to make a turd. So the waitress came by and she's like, oh, do you not like it? And Diana's like, no, not really. It's just not very good. So she's like, okay, well, I'll let my manager know. Okay, so the manager, so here's the part that cracked me up, right? So I'm sitting here, like, me and Dana are having a conversation and everything, and I'm also listening out because the manager comes walking up and stops at the table next to us and goes, hi, how's everyone doing tonight? I heard someone doesn't like their meal. And the people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? So she talks the conversation with him, and then she comes over to our table and, you know, offers Diana, like, hey, you know, do you want to something different? Do you want? And Diana's just like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm all right. Because, like, what are you gonna make that's gonna be any better? You know what I'm saying? It was just not very good. And she looks at me and she was like, yeah, how's your burger? And I was like, yeah, it's all right. I just kept eating it. it's like it is what it is. So Diana can't fathom that I'm still eating the burger because it's gross. But again, I'm just like fat and hungry, so I'm just gnawing it down. I'm like, I'll get it down. It's fine. I've had worse, but I've had much, much, much better. So the waitress comes back over and she looks at Diana and she goes, I know this is going to sound weird, but are you going to finish that burger? And I'm thinking like, are you going to eat it? But no, she goes, because if not, you know, I told my manager, if you're not going to eat it, I was going to take it off the bill. And my manager looked at me like I was crazy. So, and Diana's like, no, I'm not going to eat it. And I said, I will take a box for the bloomin' onion though. So she goes and gets a box, and she comes back and she said that she comped to the bloomin' onion. I guess her manager wouldn't let her take the burger off the bill or whatever. So I'm just like, all right, well, I won't go to that Outback anymore. But like you could tell that the waitress, it was almost like, bro, I've been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares. So like I knew the position that this waitress was in, right? I'm like where she probably knows that the food sucks. She's just trying to make some jokes. You could tell she was genuinely sorry and felt bad, or she was a very good actress. Either way, kudos to her. I gave her a $10 tip because it wasn't her fault. But like, God almighty, bro. Like, I have had better burgers from like a school cafeteria.
I've never had a good experience at an Outback Steakhouse, man. Like, they're just not a very good restaurant.
The last time I went to an Outback, I never got my food.
It was Outback.
Some say he's still there today.
Funny thing is, I drive a Subaru Outback, so you know.
Oh.
I like to take the girls out back. No, but my son was 2 at the time, and so he only had so much stamina, and we were there for 2 hours. Thankfully, they got him his food, and eventually it got to the point where he was just tired, and he was full, and he wanted to go to bed, so he started crying and like crawling up on top of me and cuddling on my shoulder, which is perfectly fine. That's what kids do. And I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I need to go. And so I asked for my part of the bill, never got my part of the bill, so I just left. And I think my brother ended up paying for my son's mac and cheese, but they comped my food because I never got it. And I legit like went home, put him down to bed, and freaking DoorDash Buffalo Wild Wings. I was starving.
Wow.
You know,
I mean, that's a better choice, honestly.
It's amazing because it's just like, to wait 2 hours in a place like that, like a casual dining, especially when you're at your table. Yeah. It's different if, like, you know, the wait is 30 minutes to get a table, and then you get in there and it's like slam packed busy. You know, it's going to take a little while to get your food, but 2 hours That's pretty rough, bro.
It was not that busy, and you would think that they would be in a hurry to get rid of us because between my son and my nieces and my friend's kid, we were terrorizing that place. Like, we were that family.
So the other things that we did, and then I'll talk about some food, and then we can move on to the game. Like, so we went to St. Augustine, one of my favorite places on earth, right? And I started in Gainesville, but I've developed a new obsession, okay? And that new obsession is hunting things down in Barnes & Noble. So I went into the manga section, and I found Konosuba 1,
Yay.
4, and 5. Now, they go up to like 18 and stuff like that, right? But I'm trying to start from the beginning. This is all they had was 1, 4, and 5 in the Gainesville one. They didn't have 2 and 3. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll find them somewhere else. So when we were in St. Augustine, we went to a Barnes & Noble, and I found Konosuba 2. Except this is Konosuba Explosions on the Wondrous World. This is a spinoff. So I found the second issue of a spinoff that I now have to collect this too. Because I now just have this. So it's like now I have to get the spinoff. So I'm like, all right. But while I was there,
That's how they get you, dude.
I also picked up something that had been recommended to me, House of Leaves.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. I believe it was Willie and Dane that have recommended this book to me.
I think so.
And
yeah.
I haven't started reading it yet, but I've kind of just thumbed through it to look at some of the pages. This is going to be an interesting read, isn't it?
Okay, you can already tell how it's going to get weird then. Cool.
Like I can.
Yeah, it definitely plays with the format of being a book a lot.
But yeah, I figured I'll read through it, and then I'm going to make my dad read it because my dad enjoys a good book. And all the reviews I've seen for this, and Dane gave it a rave review. So yeah, the other thing we did in St. Augustine, I think what it was, there was a okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but I have had absolute shit luck with ordering coffee lately. Like going to Dunkin' Donuts and be like, hey man, can I get a vanilla cappuccino, extra shot of vanilla? Yeah man, no problem. And I get it, and it was like they didn't stir it. So I drank it, and it was like just black coffee for a while, and then at the end it was just all cream and vanilla flavoring. So I'm like, all right. So then when we were in St. Augustine, we went to the coffee shop that we like there called Dose, over by the beach, or over by downtown in the beach area, and I ordered a vanilla cappuccino, extra shot of vanilla. All right. And I got it. And when I tell you that it just tasted like that they gave me Belle Delphine's bathwater, really hot, it's kind of what it tasted like.
I understood that reference.
I handed the cup to Diana. I said, try this. And this is her exact reaction. Sip. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck is that? Oh, what? So I take it and I sip it again. She's like, you're still drinking it? And I'm thinking to myself, I ate that burger too. Like, it's just a means to an end to me. And I drank that entire thing. I am not convinced that the cute girl behind the counter didn't just piss in that cup. And then they just frothed it around a little bit. And in that case, I say, thank you, ma'am. You should charge more. But it really, I'm like, dude, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should just start ordering lattes instead of cappuccinos. Because apparently, I either am, getting it in my head wrong what a cappuccino tastes like, or, everyone that I've dealt with in the last week and a half just does not know how to make a cappuccino, which probably number 2. But, man, it ain't worth the farts.
No, Dunkin' Donuts coffee has just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse.
Still better than Starbucks.
I was gonna say, we went to a Starbucks and it was all right, but it was the least of my favorite of the coffees that we got, I think.
I really, really wish that there was a decent mom and pop shop on the way to work in the morning, because even a bagel place or a bakery or something, because really the best coffee that I can get is at a breakfast and brunch place the next town over, but it's out away for when I go to work, and I don't think they're open when I go to work. So I only get this coffee on Sunday mornings when I take the family. So it's either I make my own coffee, which I just learned to do, because, I don't know, 0 sugar creamer and all that crap that I gotta ingest now. Or I just suck it up and go to Dunks, and their coffee is just burned and gross.
Yeah,
Have you tried Big Cafe, just getting some McDonald's, or?
There's no McDonald's on the way to work. Otherwise, I would give that a shot.
There's a local.
Because at least
everywhere.
McCafe has Green Mountain coffee, so like, you can't really fuck that up.
Yeah, there's a local mom and pop coffee place here. I've just never been because I'm never awake while they're open, but they're apparently really good. That's where my friend Brandy goes every morning before work.
There is
she did when she used to come to Keystone. She doesn't come to Keystone anymore.
There is a coffee place in town that's nowhere near on my way to work that serves coffee with CBD in it. Not that I've had it, but they make it.
It won't get you high. It'll just mellow you out. Find that weird to put in coffee, though.
Yeah, it seems like it cross odds. It's for people with ADHD, maybe?
I mean, it's Connecticut. There's all kinds of weird shit up here.
Connecticut?
Yeah, because it connects to more interesting states.
Got him.
I'm sure there were other things that I did that I can't remember right now. Food. I did smoke a turkey today. I smoked a brisket the other day. The brisket came out flavorful, but slightly dry. So, need to work on that. And it was just a brisket flat because I could not find an entire brisket. But I have a brisket point in my freezer. So I'm going to try that as well. And then maybe one day I can get a brisket that's the whole shebang and see what's up. The turkey I did today, gentlemen. Let me tell you how I did it. There's videos on the Discord if you guys want to come join bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. But I took a turkey breast and, butterball turkey, already brined. Take it, season it, throw it on the smoker at 275 for about an hour. Take it, drizzle butter over it. The guy I watched on YouTube used spray butter, but I was like, nah. And I put a stick of butter in a thing and melted it on the grill and then, doused it that way, just dabbing it on there. So did that, took it off. Once it came to 145 on the temperature, put it in tinfoil, half a stick of butter underneath it, cut long ways, half a stick of butter on top, drizzle it with honey. Heavy drizzle of honey. Wrap it up, throw it back on, stick your temperature back in there, thermometer, till it hits about 162, 163, pull it, let it rest, come up to 165. Brothers, when I tell you that when I was
sounds awesome,
I was cutting into that turkey and it looked like it was crying tears of joy from the juices that were in it. I was like,
you were
fuck
crying
yeah.
tears of joy.
It was so good.
That was a delicious looking turkey.
Oh yeah, the pictures were. Whoa.
My dad goes, "Well, I guess we're gonna need 2 of these for Thanksgiving."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, probably. If we're feeding more than just us, then yeah, absolutely." Because my dad's like to the point now where he's like, "Dude, doing a whole turkey is such a pain in the dick. Everybody likes the breast meat. Let's just get two breasts and just do that." And I can't blame him.
So when are you expecting me to fly in?
Do you come down anytime? I literally made this meal today because Diana said she wanted a little mock Thanksgiving dinner to see what I can do.
One of these days, I'm just gonna randomly grab a Florida plane ticket and just come down. Be like, "Hey, Dalton, come pick me up from the airport."
Do it, man. I know Tyler from Tadpog in a group chat that we have for a D&D game was joking that he needed people to work for him, and I was like, "Shit, don't give me a reason to come move up to Paducah." I was like, I'll be closer to Nate and Willie that way, and I'd be closer to everyone that I talk to on a normal basis. Literally everyone. Because I would be more north. No, I would even be closer to you than I am now.
I mean, I've driven from Connecticut to Tennessee. It's not a short drive.
Okay, but then add the rest of the way to Florida, and I would be closer to you if I lived up in Kentucky and Tennessee than I am in Florida. That's how distance works.
I suppose that's fair.
But yeah, no, it would be good. It would be a good time to come down, man. I'll cook some food for us.
Oh man, I'm already drooling thinking about it. Yeah, one of these days.
I'll take you to St. Augustine. I'll show you all the cool places that me and Nate like that we've never been to together, but we like.
See, the thing that stinks about this year is I'm already like leaving the state 3 times without my family, so I might need to bring them. No,
hey, man. I just won't take you to the torture. I just won't take you to the torture museum. Which, if you come by yourself, I'm absolutely taking you to, because I know you don't like horror things, and I need to experience that.
That's an odd way to describe your basement.
Oh, no. It's even odder of you to think I have a basement in Florida.
Right.
I tell you, though, I had a buddy growing up who had a basement in Florida, because they lived on higher ground. I mean, that room was so cool, and I mean that literally and figuratively. Like, they had their computers and all his G.I. Joe toys and, like, all of that shit was down there. They had a big-ass pool table. Like, this fucking basement was huge. And always the perfect temperature. It was beautiful.
Wow.
I love basements. I wish I had one. But, unfortunately, if I dig too far down here, I'm just going to hit water.
Yeah, no. Well, we just had mine waterproofed, so, basements aren't all that.
They're pretty cool. I like a good basement.
I want like a basement, but like in a tree. You know, like if they could just figure out a way to build a basement, but like in a tree.
That's
like kind of like a house in a tree. Like that would be really cool too. Like just put a whole house in a tree. Yeah, like a tree house. That's a great idea. Like, why hasn't anybody ever thought of that before?
So yeah, I'm actually going to.
This hobbit has smoked too much pipeweed.
Yeah, I'm trying to change the subject, but it's not working. So no, in 3 weeks, I'm actually going to California. To MSI.
Like the computer company?
I got invited to the unveiling of their next handheld.
Wow.
So, cool.
I'm actually going with a couple of the YouTube bigwigs, ETA Prime among them.
Ooh,
Nice.
Excuse me, sir. You dropped that name. Here you go. Excuse me, sir. You dropped that name. Here you go.
I
had the duck, man. You got that big dick swinging all around.
Sorry, it's a moderately sized dick. No, it completely was. It was completely unexpected, but
no, that's super cool, dude. I'm just picking on you.
But that's why, like, my family's gonna get mad if I get a plane ticket down to Florida one day, because I'm already like going somewhere without them.
I'm going to go to the Bahamas real quick. And...
My wife is more upset that she has to parent by herself.
And the truth is revealed. I figured. I told my dad today. I said it's funny. I told if Mikhailov ever needed a break from the wife and the kiddo, he's welcome to come down for a few days.
You know, plane tickets to Florida are so cheap right now from Connecticut, and they're straight shot flights. So there's really nothing saying I can't just like buy a plane ticket for 2 days and just like come down and knock on your door. It can't happen.
Yeah, man. Well, you can land in Gainesville. I'll come pick you up. Or Jacksonville, either one. But Gainesville, way fucking easier. Jacksonville International Airport, not my favorite place in the world. Like, it's like mini. Oh fuck, is it not LAX? The other one, one in New York,
Atlanta.
No. Oh yeah, like mini Atlanta, like
JFK.
Yeah, JFK.
Dude,
thank you.
Yeah. Jacksonville Airport is trash.
It's fucking too big for stupid no reason.
That said, there is also an airport in Nashville.
There is.
So, and I know Nashville is, 30 minutes south of where Nate lives.
Yep.
And then Kentucky's somewhere around in there too.
Yep.
They touch tips somewhere.
I think.
Long ways.
How long is it from that section of Tennessee to that section of Kentucky? Without doxing you.
About 3 hours.
About a 2.5 hour drive, yeah.
Okay, so it's like from me to like going to Orlando or Tampa.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You can get from one end of Connecticut to the other in an hour and a half.
You're a small little state.
We are a tiny little state.
I think it's funny that you can fit like the entirety of all the states up there in the Northeast inside of Texas.
Yes.
Like you can fit the entirety of Europe inside of Texas, I think.
All of Connecticut does not even fill Austin.
That's wild.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like
everything's bigger in Texas.
A coworker of mine, or former coworker of mine, came to Connecticut from Texas, and he actually showed me a map of the state of Connecticut superimposed over Austin, and then the state of Connecticut superimposed over Houston, and the state did not fill either city.
That's wild. Jacksonville is the largest city per square mile in the United States. It's like Jacksonville, like they just started taking like outer cities and being like, actually, you're just part of Jacksonville now. So
it's like that video. It's like that video game. What do you mean it only takes place in one city? It's a goddamn big city.
Yeah, it's a goddamn big city. But yeah, so boys, we got I think that's about it for me. So we played a game. Let me pull up the hour what?
Hour 12 minutes in, we played a game.
Yes, sir. We did. We played a game, and this particular game, I found a page on the old Wikipedia. So it is time for the obligatory Wikipedia bullshit. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a 2021 action-adventure video game developed by Snoozy Kazoo and published by Graffiti Games. It was released for Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and Nintendo Switch in April of 2021. The game was also released for Xbox One in April 2022, iOS and Android May 2022, and for the PlayStation 4 in December of 2022. The player is placed in the role of an anthropomorphic turnip who evades taxes in an effort to fight a corrupt vegetable government. A sequel titled Turnip Boy Robs the Bank was released January 18th, 2024. So, first thoughts on this, gentlemen. Let's start with Willie.
I I'm going to be honest, for some reason I thought this was a platformer, and I really didn't expect it to be like a Zelda-like game.
I can see that. From the visual aesthetic of the cover and things. I can totally see how you would think that it was going to be a little platformer type.
Because I've actually never seen it in play, and I guess maybe I was thinking an analogy to like Meat Boy or something like that. But yeah, the very first impression I had when playing the game was, wow, this is just going to be a long fetch quest, isn't it? With fun dialogue. Admittedly, I was already cracking up at the first couple lines spoken. I'm a blueberry! You're a turnip! Goodbye!
Goodbye! Word. All right. Mikhailov, what about you? What was your first impression when you fired it up?
So, my first impression is not from me firing up the game. My first impression is actually meeting two of the devs.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So, if this was... Pretty sure it was post-COVID because we were no longer wearing masks and I was at a convention. And I just happened upon a kiosk at said convention that had this game playing on a CRT TV.
Huh.
Awesome.
Odd choice. So I go up and I'm like, that's not a retro game. And they're like, no, this is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. We made it for the PC and the other systems. And they're like, would you like to play it? Funny thing is there was nobody else at this kiosk. Like,
so Mikhailov said, go fuck yourself and your stupid game.
No, I took advantage of that because I'm like, this game looks intriguing. Why is nobody else like gathering around to play this game or talk these people up? So I start playing it and I look to my right and I noticed that there's a whole bunch of Turnip Boy merch. And so I play it for a little bit and they actually let me play up to the first boss. Like there on the convention floor. The whole time I'm commenting like, this is a really nice art style. I like the way you worded the dialogue. I like the dialogue boxes just popped out to me. I said, this is funny. Like I was like just saying all these like great games about what part of the game that they allowed me to play on the build that they brought to the convention. And they were just like so grateful that I was complimenting their game and giving them attention. And then when I was done, I was like, thank you for that. I'm going to, when I get home today, I'm buying this game and I'm gonna finish it. I really appreciate the time and I really appreciate you letting me play it. And then I walked away and like looking back, I really wish I bought the merch.
Oh, dang.
Could have been cool, like a little stuffed Turnip Boy or something.
That's exactly what they had. Is they had stuffed Turnip Boys.
Oh man, that would be so cool.
Yeah,
that's a really cool story. I had no idea that you'd done that. That's really neat.
Yeah,
that's a cool little human link.
And so when this came up on the viewer poll, I'm like, damn, I have to play because I have to share that. A, I have to share that story. And B, I need to finish this game.
And I love the fact that they named their development team Snoozy Kazoo. Like, that's tremendous.
To the point where like a kazoo plays at the intro.
Oh man, that instrument that all the parents love.
Love them.
That and recorders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yo.
So what about you, Nate?
Yeah, so I hadn't really looked into it too much. I'd seen it and thought it looked really cute. I had no idea what kind of game it was. Like, I didn't even make an assumption that it would be a platformer. Like, really, I just went in assumption free. And when it started playing, I was like, oh, this is kind of like an old school Zelda game, like Link to the Pasty, which I was really surprised by because you don't really see a whole lot of people programming games like that. So it was a neat little diversion and something different to see. And like you guys said, it's hard not to notice the art style immediately. It's really cute and fun and fits kind of like that almost cozy kind of art style that you see a lot of games these days go for. And they executed it really well. And I really liked all of the little vegetables and fruits and like Mr. Blueberry. That onion was a dick though, man.
Mayor Onion.
Yeah, Mayor Onion is a dick.
Nah, he's kind of a layered character.
He's like an ogre, you're right.
I'll give you that one.
Ogres have layers.
Game ogre.
Everybody loves parfait. Why don't you be a parfait? So this actually, it kind of, my first impression of this kind of inspired the Patreon section. Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. $1 a month. But yeah, the cover of it was just like, this looks ridiculous. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I have to see what the fuck this is. It looks cute. The name's ridiculous. I'm immediately all for it, right? Like, I'm like, I need to see this. So I loaded it up and I sat there and I played through the entire game.
It's short.
And I I had a blast with it. Like, and I just remember like firing it up and being like, okay, it's old school graphics. And then it brings up the thing where you're just like, the very first thing you see in the game is like, hey, we're foreclosing on your greenhouse because you haven't paid your taxes. And you only have one choice to rip it up. So you rip it in half. And that becomes a running theme throughout the game. So that was basically my first impression was, okay, this is going to be funny. And I was not let down. This game gave me a hearty chuckle multiple times. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, popping forward a little bit, that Turnip Boy is pretty much a silent protagonist except for one moment.
Yeah.
When you're talking to the little kawaii girl, and she's just talking like, oh, ooh, ooh, type thing, and he just goes, stop.
In all lowercase with no punctuation. I think maybe in italics.
Stop. So yeah, it's basically you are playing as Turnip Boy, an anthropomorphic turnip, as the Wikipedia said, and you're running around just doing little side quests for people, basically. Mayor Onion is just sending you to go find items that he is looking for. At first, you are given, you have to go over to Old Man Lemon and steal his watering can, which you take and then talk to him, and he's like, have you seen my watering can? I've had it forever. It's an old family heirloom, and I don't want to lose it. And you're just like, oh, that sucks.
It's the only memory I have of my wife.
My wife.
It was a really good lemon accent.
Dawn Lemon.
Don't be sour over there.
So you start kind of finding the first little quest that I can remember is I think it's a blueberry. It gives you a little letter to take to the strawberry.
Yeah.
And tell him that she's got a crush on him or whatever. So you give it to her and she's like, oh, Turnip Boy, I don't have feelings for you like that. And it's like, oh, it's not from you? Oh, thank God. Oh, it's from such and such. Okay, so she writes a letter back or whatever. You just rip it in front of her. Like anything that someone gives to you that's a piece of paper, Turnip Boy just tears it in half.
Well, the lore behind that is if there is any reference to taxes anywhere written on the paper, it sends Turnip Boy into a wild rage and he just tears it up. So he reads the letter and they're saying, I love you, let's, live a long life and we could do our taxes together. And so because he sees the word taxes, he gets infuriated, he rips it up, and then the strawberry's like, well, that was rude.
That was rude, yeah.
Yeah.
So were there any particular moments that jumped out to you guys? Because this isn't like a super deep game. I installed this game. I realized I had it on Steam, and I got 100% Steve achievements in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think the main thing about the game is it is like Willie that he thought it was going to be. It's a bunch of fetch quests, but it's kind of just the nature of it. Like every fetch quest kind of leads you to a dungeon where you fight a boss and get the item that you need for the mayor.
And there was a little bit more gameplay than I expected, too. Like, it wasn't just strictly walk to point A to point B, which it looked like for a minute.
There's combat mechanics, which aren't super deep, but, they do add to the game.
Some okay puzzles.
The one thing that really stuck out to me was how, at one point in the game, you get basically a portal gun, where you hit the blue and orange portals, and you can teleport between them. It made for some pretty interesting and fun puzzles, but, and I know the game wanted you to use a lot more of that kind of stuff during the boss fights, but if you just stood next to the boss and spammed attack, you would get through it before it could hurt you enough to kill you.
Yeah.
Or there were bombs, usually, and you could get away with just, throwing bombs at them.
Kicking the bomb towards it.
Or kicking the bomb towards it. That's how I got through the majority of my boss fights. Even the last one, I ended up kicking stuff toward the boss.
The second boss, the cat.
Yeah.
I literally beat that one by running over, pouring water on the bomb, and watching. And when the cat started coming towards me, I would pour the water on the bomb again to activate it and run away. And the cat would just spin into the bomb and it would blow up. So I didn't even have to kick it. I just kept luring the boss into the damage itself. I was just like,
I loved the theory behind that boss because it was a cat
the piece
that
of toast.
had the piece of buttered toast on its back. So it just kept spinning around because cats always land on their feet and buttered toast always lands butter side down. So it just spun.
I actually didn't catch that that's what the buttered toast gag was about. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. That was a great boss.
Yeah. I enjoyed the boss
fights. They're simple, easy, to the point, and they were good. There was one where you get to the radioactive section where there's this giant deer that's been, drinking all the radioactive ooze and can shoot lasers now.
Yeah, the bosses are definitely ridiculous. The first one where you go, okay, for one, the girl that you go and you talk to her, and she's a streamer, and she's like, in order to get into the thing, you need to be a tier 3 sub or whatever. So get a tier 3 sub, and then I'll let you in there. And then you go talk to the guy that's running the sandwich store, and he's like, "Whoa, she wants you." Oh yeah, dude, here, and he gives you a tier 3 sub that you then take to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, here's the key," and then you can get into the first little dungeon area where you have to go fight the giant pig.
There's lots of cute little jokes. Like, one of my favorite early game jokes was the first time you go into an area with enemies, it says, "Beware the snails, they're vegetarian." And you think about that for a moment, like, well, that does, oh, I'm a turnip! Yeah.
Oh, fucking Gary.
Gary.
Jerry.
Jerry.
It is Gary.
No!
Yeah, he's like, man, so you meet a blueberry, and he's like, so Jerry moved in.
I thought you were referencing Gary the snail from SpongeBob as well. I got confused. I get what you were talking about now.
So he's like, Jerry moved in, the snail, and he hasn't paid his rent yet. So I don't know what to do. Turnip Boy, will you talk to him for me? So there's nothing that you can do at first until you go and you get the sword when you water the Weaponus Plantis or something, whatever it was called, and it grows the sword, and you can get that. And then you go back and you kill Jerry, because that's the only thing you can do, and you take it with his rent money, and it just pops up, rent money, and underneath it, Jerry was going to pay his rent, frowny face.
And then you go talk to the blueberry, and he's like, "Dude, why did you kill Jerry?"
Oh, he had his rent money? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time you talk to him, he's like, "Yeah, I spent that money on chips, whatever." Thanks.
I bought a bag of chips, yes.
Oh man.
Did you guys help the radioactive acorn by land?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
What a funny fucking... When the guy's like, what kind of currency is a leaf? What am I supposed to do with that? There were just so many dumb little quests in it that were fucking hilarious.
Did you notice that Turnip Boy is just a menace to society? Like, we are the villains.
Oh, yeah.
We are very clearly the villains.
The moment I started ripping up paper at random, I'm like, okay, good. I'm going to be a total jerk.
Yeah.
One of the things that really stuck out to me was like when you got to the haunted house kind of area where there was like a bunch of rotten food. You were trying to fix the refrigerator to help the things live in the refrigerator, and there's this jar of pickles and olives. Start talking to you like, "Hey, are you the turnip from the insert Italian
Turnipcino?"
Thank you. So
the Turnipcino family.
The Turnipcino family, and I was like, I doubt that that's the same thing. And I was like, the whole time you were part of the Turnipcino family.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you find out at the end, it's like, oh yeah, your dad, Mayor Onion, and Lemon were all gangsters.
It's just so random and stupid, and I loved it.
Did you get the achievement for hitting the nuke 3 times?
I have no impulse control, and that was the very first thing I did when I got there.
I did not have this on Steam, and Epic did not have achievements for Turnip Boy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you played this on Epic. Yeah,
I played
when
this
you find
on Android.
On Android?
On,
right, it did come out for Android.
On the Retroid Pocket Mini.
Oh, nice. Did you find an APK for it, or was it available?
No, Play Store.
Nice.
And actually, I have Google Play Pass, so it was free.
Oh, dude.
Sick.
I tell you, that Google Play Pass is actually kind of sweet if you like to play games while you're pooping.
Dude, this is the perfect device for playing games while you're pooping. This is like the perfect size for that.
I need to put that in the box.
I'd buy that for $1. So, yeah, there's just like a lot of little quests you can do to help everybody out. And as you're going through the game, you're kind of also learning what happened. And it's basically there was a nuclear fallout and some radiation creeped over and got into some veggies. And the first veggies that became sentient were Mayor Onion, Old Man Lemon, and then your dad, Turnipcino. And they all just kind of started figuring things out. Well, Mayor Onion started reading about humans and how humans used to do things with like a government and things like that, and he wanted to do that, whereas Turnipcino was like, yo, we got a good thing going here. And Mayor Onion made Turnipcino sleep with the fish sticks, however you want to do this.
Sleep with the rotten. It was the term that they used in the game.
Yeah.
Sleep with the rotten, yeah.
Which again brought back a throwback to Dungeon Munchies when the rotten banana. Like, for some reason, I just immediately thought of that.
It was funny how both of them kind of grew in horror over the course of the game, although this one kind of just stayed at dark humor mostly.
Grew their vegetables.
Oh, I see what I've done there. Holy crap.
Oh! I think I just soiled myself.
You guys are corny.
Hey!
Oh, man. I remember when I first started recording this, I really cared, but now I do not care at all.
He wants to play Dragon Quest. Sorry, Dalton.
You know,
I completely
I was
derailed the podcast.
It's all good, man. Last night I was, playing a bowling game. I wanted to strike, but I'll settle for a spare, I guess. But yeah, so...
All right, everybody, turn up your podcatchers and let's listen to the rest of the episode.
In the area where you're going through the nuclear stuff, where you're going towards fighting Mayor Onion towards the end, I know we're skipping all around, but this is really a very short game. Just go play it, everybody.
Yeah.
There are some seriously, like, heart-wrenching-esque little diary entries from, like, family members that were in the bunker as the world was ending. It's kind of fucking brutal.
Yeah. I
Specifically,
did actually
two siblings named Liz and Matt. Like, you get their backstory in this game.
Yeah.
The game is not afraid to throw a couple bummers at you just because.
Oh, and man. You will rip them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Not only do you rip them up, but you still learn, and like you're getting basically the end of humanity from the viewpoint of Liz. And yeah, there's a plot twist there that I don't know that we want to talk about yet, but
now my question for you guys is, did any of you figure out, because I 100% did this game. I got all the achievements, did everything you can do. Did anybody figure out what the fuck is up with that cherry that just says "raro raro raro raro" like he's singing?
That's a JoJo's reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, the character's even called Kakyoin. When I sent you guys that image of the guy licking the cherry that one time, it's a reference to the exact same scene.
Oh, okay. What a random fucking...
Yeah, it's just a random JoJo name for no reason.
I've recognized that first because like those symbols that come out of it are extraordinarily JoJo's.
Yeah.
Like, I know enough about it to know that much, and I was just waiting for Willie to get to that cherry.
I was quite thrilled by it.
I just picked up on it from the face alone.
Yeah, because it had Kakyoin's face and it was called Kakyoin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who Kakyoin is. I just know the art style of JoJo, and I'm like, that's got to be a JoJo reference.
Yeah.
And
it was a JoJo. I never did figure out what was up with the pond with a single fish in it, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
the
what that
fish
was.
chased me at one point, like jumped out of the pond and chased me, and I had to kill it. I didn't understand what that was for either.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but apparently the little sign cracked me up where it's like, this pond is special as you can only observe one fish at a time.
I was kind of hoping for a fishing mini game there. That's a point off the game score. There was no fishing mini game.
Boo.
Oh man, was I will say that the after you beat the game, so did anybody besides me get the true ending?
Yeah,
I got the true ending.
I did 100%.
Okay, so we all got it. Okay, cool. So if you beat the game without tearing everything, then when you get to the final boss with Mayor Onion, you beat him and the game ends. But you can also go back and tear everything up and fight him. And then there is a second battle after where he like drinks some ooze and he sets the nuke off and he blows the earth up and you end up fighting Mayor Onion in space and he's this giant creature and you have to use the IRS cherry tomatoes to help you win. That battle was, to me, it wasn't hard, and I don't think it was there or meant to be hard. It was just entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, the two little IRS dudes that accept their fate, and then the last one, when you kick him, and he's just like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah. Like, he didn't want to die.
I think up to that point, they were all just doing references to some anime. I want to say, I think it was a Studio Trigger one, either like Tengen Toppa Loran or something like that. Like, they were all doing quotes from that. And then all of a sudden, the other one's just like, "Oh, don't kick me, dude! I don't want to die, dude."
And then you kick him anyway.
Whereas the other ones were doing all these heroic protagonist anime lines.
I think it was a fortune cookie or something. I can't remember exactly what he was. But did you guys run into the guy that was like, "You just messed up, buddy. I'm a Marine." He did the whole copy.
Oh,
yes, it was the
macaroni
macaroni.
noodle.
That was a macaroni noodle. Yeah.
It was after you finished putting the generator back on in the area where the kind of dog-like creature was.
This is basically just like, I will fucking end you.
Did anybody
entirely like?
Did anybody catch that the rival family mob boss was a little Debbie Cosmic Brownie?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. That's awesome. I love a Cosmic Brownie. God, those things are so deliciously disgusting.
I mean, it's not a...
I think her name was Deb.
Yeah. Not a Casbar, though.
Oh, man. No. If it was a Casbar...
We keep rocking the Casbar on this show.
So good.
I bought another box, Dalton.
I tried to warn you. They're addicting. They're stupid good.
Thankfully, I only have like one every couple of days.
I would have probably wrecked that entire box already.
Yeah.
Again, I've referenced this before, but I am fat.
So am I. I'm just...
Your doctor's put a padlock on that thing.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I can't nut all month. It's fucking bullshit. Cage jokes. Anyway, was there anything else that jumped out to you guys that you wanted to talk about? Because there's one other thing that I have, but it's more of a post-game thing.
The one thing that I have is not a post-game thing, but it's very spoilery, and I don't know if I want to bring it up.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I'll just say this, that I think the game is worth playing. It won't take up too much of your time, and it doesn't waste your time. So, like...
And that's why I don't want to talk about this one thing, because I want people to experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
But it was...
Could you give a hint as to what it is?
It was probably what I would consider the most emotional moment in the whole story.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, say that.
Yeah, I think we can leave that to people.
I mean, it's literally about the length of a movie if you don't rush yourself through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could literally, you could play it on anything. So, yeah,
and it's easy, it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be recommendations all the way down, I think.
The other thing I do want to bring up really quick, I'm sorry, Dalton.
No, you're fine.
Is that when you do get to the end of this story, I did learn that Turnip Boy Robs a Bank takes place right after the true ending of this story.
That's kind of crazy. I wonder how they pull that
It
off.
just picks up there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand how that'll work, but we'll see.
We'll get there eventually, for sure.
They do. Yeah, no, it's interesting how they decided to figure that out, but it's kind of cool.
So just the thing that I have is after you beat the game, they added this in post. So luckily, one of the achievements to get in the base game is to collect all the hats. Well, I knew about the train at the end because I had already beat it on Epic, right? So, and then you can buy hats from the train. So I was like, oh my God, am I going to have to farm this train for hours to get all the hats? No. If you get all the hats in the base game, you get that achievement.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So basically, if you just do all the stuff in the base game, you'll get all the hats, and it.
Yeah, if you're stuck on the hat, there's like a cave in the post game you can go to. They'll give you a hint as to where to go next.
What we're referencing is there's this thing at the end of the game, like post game, basically, where you can do this endless train where you're basically going through combat rooms followed by the bosses that you fought through the course of the game. The thing that is kind of the issue with that, and I think I brought this up briefly on the show, is just the combat's not great in this game. It's not what this game's known for or the main selling point of the game. And just to have a full combat focused feature at the end of the game was kind of like, I don't know that they really should have done this, but I know they wanted to pad and add more for DLC, so I get it.
And I think
another vegetable
I feel like
game.
once you get looping in that too, like once you finish through the first endless part of the train, like they start adding modifiers to the enemies, and it actually starts being a little bit more fun. But yeah, at first it is kind of like a not great version of one of those roguelite type games.
Another vegetable game where the combat is not the focus. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu.
I will say too is that along with being able to buy new hats to wear, you could also buy upgrades for the train, like yourself in the train with the points that you get. But again, there's no achievements related to that, so it's kind of just if you enjoy the game and want to put more time into it. But I've already gotten what I needed out of it at that point.
I think that there was one train achievement, which was to beat the first boss of the second loop.
Yeah. You have to beat the conductor. That was about it.
No, it was the one after the conductor.
Oh, yes. Okay, fun fact about that boss. That boss just appears randomly by chance. So there's like you...
Oh, I just happened to get it the first time after the conductor beat the conductor? Awesome.
Yeah, so that could have been...
a grind.
You run the train for a little while before it shows up. Yeah. Run the train. Almost missed that one.
Get up on that train and ride it.
Ride
it. You thinking maybe some scores here, and then we can move on?
I think so.
All right, then. I'm going to go first for the first time in a while. So, having just discovered this game randomly, and then playing through it and beating it, and then just, like when it came up for the show, I'm like, you know what? I look forward to playing that again. To the fact that I beat it on Epic, and then I loaded it up on Steam and beat it on Steam and got all the Steam achievements. You could say that I really did enjoy myself. Do I think it's a...
Could you say you dug it?
I definitely dig. I dig, my good sir. I dig.
So really turn up your opinion around?
Yeah, we'll say that word. I love you, Mikhailov. I'm not gonna. It's not a perfect game, and it's not a game I'll ever go back to probably. So that knocks a few points, right? Because it's like there's not a lot of replayability for it. But for what it is, I give it an 8. I give it an 8 turnips out of 10 radishes. Solid writing, funny, not going to take up too much of your time to enjoy it. What about Mr. Blue Shirt, Mikhailov?
I mean, I can't give it a perfect score because, it's not...
Thanks, Dane.
What?
Can't give it a perfect score. I said thanks, Dane, because of his anti-perfect score.
No,
bias.
it has... I had a feeling you were going to say that, but no, it has nothing to do with Dane.
No, I'm just giving you the old sassy smash.
Oh, well, give me the smashy smash later.
I said sassy smash, but all right.
Hey, I'm threatening you with a good time.
Yeah, okay, let me just make sure the mic's still on cardioid.
So...
I don't even know what that was supposed to imply.
I have no idea. Now I lost my train of thought on the Infinite Train.
It wasn't a perfect game.
Yeah. It wasn't a perfect game, short, but there's just way too many positives for me to give it anything other than 9. 9 mafia bosses out of 10 corrupt democratic governments.
All right. Willie, what about you, bud?
This is going to have to go on the... You didn't shoot for the moon, but you hit the cloud you were shooting at kind of file for me. Like, it's absolutely a great... It's great for what it is. It's a 2-hour, 3-hour, whatever experience. It's fun. It's likable. I enjoyed some of the music a lot, even, too. Like, some of it was kind of samey adventure game music, but I liked the kind of lo-fi beat from the haunted house area, the haunted farmhouse, I want to say. I thought the humor was pretty much all hits, and I'm usually kind of critical about game humor writing because a lot of it can be very internet meme, Borderlands, Reddit, lay epic type shit. Whereas I thought this game was pretty funny in its own right. A very good, like, cartoon meets dark humor type sense of humor. I do think that it hits a ceiling, ultimately, and I think I'm going to give it 7 3/4 shredded Gruyères out of 10 boiled onions. Makes a pretty tasty French onion soup.
Fair.
Hell yeah. And Nate, that leaves you, my good sir.
Yeah, and those are some of the exact thoughts that I had too. Is like, we've talked about this on the show a few times where there's just like certain ceilings for certain types of games. Whereas I don't think they could have made this game as perfect as possible, and I don't think Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is ever going to hit a 10 on my scale. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I really did enjoy this.
I get that.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this game a lot, and I think it really shot and hit what it was shooting for. And I think it was shooting for about 7.5 blueberries out of 10 strawberries.
You guys are making me think I was too generous on this game now.
No, I actually think that our spread overall works out really nicely because I think me and Nate have been making concerted effort to put that ceiling factor into our ratings, whereas I think yours is a pure rating of the game and how much you enjoyed it over time. Like, I think that's just different skills. I think everyone gave a good score.
Yeah, well,
I'm actually happy you went with a 9 because then I would feel less bad about going sub 8.
Different scales for different Dales.
Yeah, and also,
I don't
know, from my point of view, it gets harder and harder to just be able to sit and enjoy a good game, so to have a nice, short, enjoyable experience in the short amount of time in a day I get to game, it does say something.
Yeah.
All right, then.
It's a good 1 to 2 sesh game.
Yeah.
More if you get a little irritated by something, but that didn't really happen to me too much.
Well, then...
I think I had to put it down during the nuclear boss fight. Not the stag, but the...
the me too.
One.
I think I messaged you guys saying I need to take a quick break from this because this boss is kicking my butt.
I kept doing it a stupid way over and over again. I didn't realize what I was supposed to do.
Fire.
Me neither.
Fire.
Yeah, it was all about the fire. I didn't think about the fire. Specifically, I forgot that you got the item that makes you not take damage when you catch fire.
Yeah. Well, boys, I think that was all fair. I think we were very fair and thorough.
Yes.
So we're moving on to some listener questions, and then from there we'll be getting Willie's pick, house cleaning, and getting all up out of here. So first off, from Fenris Wolfsbane, old Fenny, if you could learn to masterfully wield any weapon or weapons, what would that/they be? He says weapons because for Fenris, it would mean the art of dual wielding. Swords, daggers, axes, whatever. Fenris is a sucker for dual wielding. It is the perfect blend of defense and offense. So, I have 2 thoughts of mind on this, right? Actually, 3. And they all come from just being a Skyrim player, basically, right? So, it's like, dual wielding, fun, cool, quick, would be a good skill. But, you really got to not skip arm day. Because your left arm got to be up to par with your right arm. Because I don't think people realize how fucking heavy swords actually are. Like, maybe throw a dagger in that left hand. You just trust me on that, right? So, but this is, if you could learn to master it, dual wielding would be cool.
So what you're talking about, though, is more like the traditional, like, Japanese sword where you have the katakana in one hand and the wakizashi in the other.
Yeah, like long sword.
Did I say katakana instead of katana?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was gonna let it ride.
I wasn't gonna. The viewers wouldn't.
So I think also, like, being skilled with a bow, very helpful, because much easier to fashion an arrow than it is to fashion a bullet.
True.
Right, if you need to. But I think the one that I would want to do, just because it's just cool, and I think it would be fun to be strong enough to do it well, is wield a claymore. Like, I wield a two-handed, just big sword. You know what I mean? Maybe not quite like Buster Sword levels of ridiculousness. I don't need a 6-foot katana Masamune type thing, right? But just like a nice claymore with maybe some cool devilish-looking edgings in it, serrations. I think that's what I would go with. Let's see. Let's do this. How about the man in red?
Yeah. So for me, I think, you know who I am. I'm the barbarian of the group. You know, I'm taking the biggest fucking thing I can and smashing it into skulls. So I thought about doing like a great axe, but I think instead for this, I'm gonna go with the battle hammer.
Yes, bitch. I was thinking Great Maul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fucking huge
Just let me
hammer.
take that thing. And not to mention, dude, if I got really good at wielding that, I'd be buff as shit too. It's like just bam. I just think knowing me, that would be the most fun I could have. Practically, it'd probably be smarter to dual wield guns, but no, I'll let somebody else be the ranged guy. I'll go in.
Yeah.
Nate just wants to turn every melee into a Gallagher show.
Yeah, pretty much. Your head is the watermelon.
Nate loves the band Smashing Pumpkins for way different reason than the rest of us.
I'll slice through their middle, and then you can come through and swing your hammer, hit them in the chest, and knock their top half off their bottom half. Just whoa.
Love it.
Me like pokey sword, me like fencing sword, rapier, or, traditional sport fencing swords, even like, the foil and epee and such. Dude. I just like the pokey poke. You move fast, you poke, don't get hit.
Bro, and my main in Soul Calibur is Raphael, and he uses the rapier. He's just super quick, and it's fucking awesome.
So just
I value that speed and precision.
Just a fencing foil? Well, not a fencing foil, but like...
It would probably be a rapier instead of a foil, just so it'd be more sharpened and
right.
not built just to flex and stuff. Because I don't really need to be able to do the bendy attack that the foil does, so much as I need to be able to stick the skewery end through put the pointy side and the fleshy side.
So more like an Inigo Montoya type thing.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like a movie fencing type sword, exactly.
For dual wielding, that is also a good offhand weapon because it's lighter, having the rapier in your left hand, because then you can extend forward but still have your footing to swing with the right hand.
It's a fun image.
Yeah, so what about you, Mikhailov?
Hire us to make the next round of weapons, Monster Hunter. Oh yeah, we didn't get Mikhailov yet. I feel dumb now.
Well, I think if I wanted to be the master of a specific weapon, I think I'm more the type of person that would want to be good at manipulation and persuasion. This is manipulation, and this is persuasion. and this is not a visual podcast, so to describe what I just did, I just held up my two fists. Meaning, I don't know, give me a martial arts style, or give me something punchy kicky, because that's something
you always have your weapons on you, baby.
Yeah, you always have your weapons on you, and I don't know, just something about like mastering something that you could technically master in real life. I think I'm a little bit old now, but I'm sure if I went to self-defense classes, I could probably do something. But yeah, no, if I could just flick a switch and just be master of any type of weapon, I think I would just want to be legs and arms, or legs and fists.
Man,
this is going to be a deep cut that I know Willie and Nate are going to get. But Mikhailov, with that, is going to be walking around like Ernest the Cat Miller, right? Where he just looks normal, but can beat the fuck out of you.
I just realized we've probably created a terrible D&D party just now, because we basically have a fighter, a monk, a barbarian, and a thief.
Well, we at least have a tank, but no healers.
Yeah, we have tanks and DPS. That's not the worst situation it could be.
We're just going to need to rob somewhere to get some gold so we can stock up on potions.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, this next question. We haven't had one of these in a while. It comes in from Dane. Dalton, you might want to brace yourself before unspoiling this question.
boy.
In a zombie apocalypse scenario.
Wait, isn't this for the other show?
I think this used to be a thing on Yazpod, but Yazpod is no more. So you find yourselves in a small community, safe behind improvised walls erected by the townsfolk. Everyone is friendly. Too friendly? The world beyond the walls seems quiet. Too quiet? And the fresh meat for dinner every night seems to come from no obvious livestock that you've spotted. Clearly, you're living amongst cannibals who may or may not be staring at your ass with the intentions of a spit roasting.
Giggity.
Well, you know.
Do you? A. Raid the armory and try to overthrow the cannibal leadership. B. Make a break for it in the middle of the night and hope for the best. Or C. Become the chef's best friend and get his recipe because his leg of Dale is delicious.
I can tell you which one it's not going to be. It's not going to be number 2 because I'm not a little bitch.
Well, it can't be number 2 either because we've pretty much established that the zombies on the outside aren't on the outside, which means these guys' main thing is hunting silently. You're not going to most deadliest game these guys. They're going to track you down and get you.
Now,
It's not going to be C either, right?
I mean, that depends on how
C
good
seems the
they'll take it.
desperation option, man.
It's the accept it. That's the ending scene of the horror movie where the final person's just sitting there defeated looking as you just hear, "What I've done," as they swallow.
I mean, you have 2 choices here, essentially. You have the choice of becoming fully assimilated, becoming a completely useful member of this community, so make yourself indispensable so you are not the next Beale, or you do take over, you do raid the armory and overthrow the cannibal leadership. 2 is not an option, so you either have to assimilate or take over. That is essentially what this comes down to.
You know what, man? If we're already in the freaking zombie wilds and stuff like that, and we have any worry whatsoever that we are on the menu somewhere down the line, I really do think that the only choice is live large or die trying.
Yeah,
I think
because
you
like
gotta fight it.
I got my battle hammer. Dalton's got his great sword.
I was gonna say, are we the D&D
Willie's got
party?
his
I think so. I think
rapier,
we're all right.
and
Oh no! Well, I'll be the one that gets I'm the one that breaks us into the armory in the first place. I'll get the guns and shit.
I've got manipulation and persuasion right here.
I think that's what we have to do.
I just imagine Willie going, "Hold on, I got the lock," and then just getting into position and sticking his rapier forward into the lock, and then just maneuvering it and unlocking it.
I like it. I think that's what we do. I think we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. There's lots of redaction. Okay, so the next one comes in from Nate. You can only take 1 dog home. You know what? I am going to copy this to the chat because there's a couple of these that I do not remember the names.
There's Scooby-Doo, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Brian Griffin, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Snoopy, Pluto, Astro, Droopy the Dog, Goofy, Lady, and Tramp.
I couldn't remember Droopy's name. Okay, yes. So...
One I know I can eliminate immediately is Clifford because I don't want to have to try to feed him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or clean up after
that
him.
is
Oh, God.
That is a big red dog.
Clean up after would be terrible.
As much as I would...
I think my instinct is I actually would rather want to go with one of the talking dogs, and I think both Goofy and Brian are too anthropomorphistic. Scooby-Doo seems like the most fun, but I also think Astro is the one that could just chill out and be a dog most of the time while also having some interesting chats. So I'm gonna go with Astro.
I saw a thing the other day that said that Goofy's not a dog, and then I could find no info to prove it right. So I'm gonna still assume that Goofy is a dog, and he will always be a dog. I think Goofy would be cool. Again, talking dogs would be cool, but Brian's a dickhead.
Yeah, that's also
I love that character, but Brian is so like a sniffs his own farts kind of person.
You wouldn't want him in his household. You wouldn't want him in your household, and you wouldn't even want him on your Facebook. You would just want to see him at the bar once a month.
Yeah.
That's as close as you want.
Clifford, you made a very valid point. Clifford is adorable, but to have a dog quite that big, I do like big dogs, but that's pushing it.
Scooby's a Great Dane. That's a big dog.
I'm very torn between like Scooby, Pluto, and Droopy. Just because, like, I think it would be funny to walk into the room and be like, "All right, Droopy, it's time for a bath," and to hear him go, "Oh, brother."
That was a good Droopy.
So you know what? Yeah,
that
fuck yeah, I'm going Droopy.
That was a very good Droopy.
I did not consider how much fun it would be to have your own private view or control all the time. That is pretty good.
I'm gonna go Droopy, dude. Plus, he's got them big old cheeks. I could just.
Yeah, he looks kind of like a basset hound, and I love a big old droopy dog.
He has to be a basset hound.
It's so cute.
Come on.
He's got to be. He's got way too much jowlage going on.
But like, I do want to shout out though that like not one of these dogs is like terrible. So that's
Scrappy's
cool.
not on there.
Yeah.
Let me at him.
I do think Brian Griffin is the go ahead worst.
I think Brian's probably the worst, and then probably Goofy.
Yeah, I just feel bad about the Goofy.
Having Goofy as your dog would kind of feel like owning a person, and I just don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I want to set him free.
Dude, haven't you canonically done it?
Gosh, when can I see my son again? This is pretty fucked up.
I will never forget listening to Tadpog and listening to them talking about Goofy being the only canonical Disney character who have had sex because he's got the son, Max.
Yeah.
And I just remember Tyler going, "I'm gonna gosh in that pussy," and that just like is burned in my brain. Hearing Tyler say that is fucking so random, but God, it was
Goofy
so
does not make love; he yucks.
He yucks. His favorite vegetable is squash.
But he occasionally enjoys some beets when he gets all boiled up into some borscht.
Some borscht. Dude.
So, when I was teaching middle school years ago, we were in the library, and it was just me and 2 other teachers and the librarian. And the librarian found some, like, really weird, messed up books from, like, the 50s and 60s that should not have been in a middle school library, like, at all. And one of them was, like, kind of a Burning Loins romance novel type thing.
Oh, wow.
So I just opened up to a random page and I just started reading it, but I started reading it as Goofy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And just, like, I read like, the naughty bits, and then at the end I just went, gorge. and they just... Like everybody else who was in the library, all the teachers, they just burst out laughing. Like I got them.
Nice.
Gosh, what a throbbing member.
I think if I was gonna pick one of these, so the most boomer thing about me is I really like Peanuts, and I like Snoopy a lot.
Snoopy's awesome.
That's very boomer of me.
Like, Snoopy feels like a can't miss pick. Like, he's just
Snoopy
a real imaginative beagle.
doesn't talk. Also can be an asshole.
Yeah,
that is.
But like, I'm kind of torn between two because I do like Snoopy a lot, but I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't say one because this dog is basically my current dog, so I have to give it to Courage the Cowardly Dog here because that's essentially my dog.
That's fair.
I do love Courage.
Yeah.
Although I feel like he's always got bad things happening to him, poor guy.
Yeah, it was like I'm a little bit worried I'd pick up on his
He's
Dark
so
Cloud.
cute.
Or
He is awesome. I do like Courage.
or maybe you could pick up his
I like most of
Dark
these dogs
Cloud
a lot.
too. I mean, I'm sure he'd let you play either.
The thing is, like, I wouldn't ignore him because he actually has always been right in what he sees. So it's just like, I'm not going to go Eustace on him. I'm going to pay attention to that dog.
Now that you mention it, I just realized that the premise of Courage the Cowardly Dog is like if Lassie kept running up with a boy in the well, and they're like, "Fuck off, Lassie." That's kind of incredible.
Mikhailov, did you pick one? Because I know that your answer in the chat was that you don't like dogs.
Yeah, no, fuck dogs. Next question. Also, Spunky from Rocko's Modern Life is not on this list.
True. That's a good dog.
Spunk.
That was a good dog.
Good but filthy dog. That's a good choice. Yeah.
All right, let me find the next question.
Like, that dog just dogs around, just does dog shit, pretty much.
All right.
Pretty smart for a dumb dog too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just what you would want.
Yeah.
So I say we work together and do this for each person. 5 things that you'd put in a pentagram to summon.
Yeah, because I think it's better that we do it for each other rather than us pick our own things. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with Dalton and come up with his 5 pentagram things. The first thing I think you got to put is a guitar pick. I think that's an obvious. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. A J.
I was going to say a one-hitter, yeah.
All right.
A can of Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're 3/4 of the way there. I'm feeling the
That's
pull.
3/5.
3/4? How many? Yeah, I was going to say, how many points did you put in your pentagrams, homie?
5.
You flunked out of which school?
An active Crunchyroll subscription.
Well, okay. I don't have one of those right now, but continue.
How about a little, like a little toy alien?
Good
Like a
idea.
little gray.
Dalton does want to believe.
Because you are interested in like the paranormal.
I do like aliens. Yeah,
I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good for Dalton's pentagram.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it. I will gladly have that stuff summon me.
Why don't we try Mikhailov?
All right,
So
so
I feel like that's the hard one. Hard.
Oh shit! All right, go ahead. Let him out. Do it
First, a Super Nintendo cartridge of Chrono Trigger.
A POW Kitty handheld.
Yeah.
I think a phone opened. A phone with YouTube open on it.
I like it.
An unabridged novel. Any unabridged novel will do. I mean, it's got to be a good one, or else he might not show up. Though.
He's a teacher. I think it should also be an apple.
Oh, that's
is. I like
cute.
That's kind of cute.
I do like that. That's five.
Symbolically, I like that a lot.
I mean, I probably would
You don't
be
eat apples?
more. No, I love apples. I'd probably be more than likely to be summoned with an Ambernick instead of a Pau Kitty. And you're not putting my son on an end of a pentagram?
Do we really want to involve?
I mean, I was trying to avoid involving your son in the witchcraft.
Fair. That's fair.
I'll just let him know.
I'm actually you're disappointed that we're not doing human sacrifice on our show.
I actually appreciate that.
I feel like Mikhailov's going to
Nate
show
hadn't
up. He's
said,
going to look at what summoned him. He's going to be like, really, guys? This what you use?
If Nate hadn't said the Chrono Trigger card, I would have said a Purple Beat sprite art. So
No, the Chrono Trigger was a good one because I currently have 3 copies of Chrono Trigger.
holy
One-
heck. That's quite
One for
impressive.
the SNES and 2 for the DS.
All right, so
Okay, the Super Nintendo was the one I was impressed
Willie's
with.
would be hard to source down some of them, but I think
Panda
like,
plushie.
Yeah.
for me,
Oh, hey, yeah, that would work. That would help.
For me, like just to summon him, I would do physical copies of Doom 1, 2, 3, 4, and Doom Resurrection, whatever the
Eternal.
fuck. The Eternal, yeah. Oh, Doom Resurrection was the movie. Yeah, Doom Eternal. Just physical copies
The
of
movie
Doom.
would not get me out of bed. But
Let's
yeah,
count-
bringing me the whole
let's count
number
that as
series.
one
I'll accept that.
thing.
Yeah, just the Doom
So,
series. Just box
Panda
collection.
Panda plushies, a Panda plushie,
Doom.
A Doom game.
a physical copy of Doom 64,
64.
Okay, so we got Doom, Panda.
Okay.
Okay.
a
I can think of a
wireless
couple of things, but I
headset
don't know.
because he really loves having access to a wireless headset for some reason.
What?
I've
I've never used this thing wirelessly except for very briefly. Like, I get up to go to the bathroom and plug it right back in.
a razor because he loves shaping his mustache. Or trimmer. I should say beard trimmer. And a big gulp with
Yeah.
Diet Pepsi in it.
Okay, Diet Coke. This one was actually Diet Dr. Pepper. It's watered now, but it was Diet Dr.
But
Pepper.
it's
Diet
in the
Coke-
big gulp cup.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it's a Polar Pop, but Big Gulp is the exact same
Okay.
thing, and I'd completely be happy with that. I'll definitely give you points for the Big Gulp, and the Doom, and the Panda plushie. Those
The other two, not so much.
I think the other two were a big reach, and you were just trying to be
I was
funny.
reaching a little bit, but I think
Those
I did all
were
right.
you weren't really getting
muted,
into
by
my
the way.
hobbies and
No, he wasn't.
interest as much.
No, he wasn't.
What?
Okay, no,
No, I
my
wasn't
internet's
muted.
just messed up again.
Yeah. I was like, those didn't really get into my like hobbies and interests so much as they were just like you trying to make
I think a
physical comedy
chessboard.
observations on
We can
an audio
replace one
show.
with a chessboard.
I was actually going to suggest a chess
And
piece if
then-
you guys didn't say
And
that.
then I don't know why, but I feel like I would like replace the headphones with like a copy of like Shrek 2 on DVD or something. Just something really strange. That way, when you showed up, you would look at it and be like, I don't know why you did that, but yep. You know what? Sure.
I like
Let's
it.
watch it.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, just the last one was the wild card slot. You just put whatever on it, just something that
Yeah.
would intrigue me.
Exactly. You're just like, I need to know why you chose this. It's like, exactly.
It's like, why'd you give me a Rubik's Cube?
Hey,
You
I'm
know
back.
what? I'm gonna try to solve this.
Welcome
Let's
back.
just hang out. Good.
Welcome back.
Sorry, my
Welcome back,
internet's
traveler.
At least we didn't lose
my
you.
internet's being weird
We
tonight.
didn't lose you audio-wise at any point. We didn't lose your audio at any point. We did lose your video for a little while earlier when you texted us that your thing was going on.
Oh well, no, Audacity's still
Audio's been
working.
close.
So
Yeah. I just been on the show.
Okay.
Now,
Behind the scenes shit.
now we need to summon Nate.
Date.
So I'm putting the Sonic plushie.
Yeah, that's good.
yes,
We're already using the figurine up because I was definitely going to say a figurine of the
awesome.
Predator.
Or
Any
yeah.
any major named character from an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
So,
Including it could be a Turbo Man,
I
actually.
mean, it could be both because I was also going to say like a slime from Dragon Quest
Dragon
yeah.
Quest slime.
Yes.
3.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good
a
call.
nice pair of hiking shoes.
Ooh,
Oh.
Because the motherfucker does like to
it's
go on a
true.
walk.
It's true.
The man's a nature boy.
We're done with figures and plushies.
I mean, it sounds like, well, yeah, I guess we have 3 already. What are some other...
I mean, the last thing I can think of...
Oh, I think it would have to be a cute little live animal for him to come and visit.
Physical copy
like
of Hollow Knight.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A free weight. I think all of these could work.
I think those are all pretty solid.
We're going to have to get Nate one of those 7-pointed stars from Game of Thrones.
All right, and then we have one more.
Now, if the question was, what do we use to summon Kana, then we all screwed up. But I think we were supposed to ask it of each other.
Some of the other... No, yeah, it said the TSMP host. Okay. Some of the other ones that people said for other people, like Dane said wrestling, music, and gators would have to play into Dalton's. Kana said
that's very good.
Along with weed.
I am surprised we didn't come up with any wrestling content.
And a rack of ribs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So then the final question that we have comes in from Adam. Choose two... Oh, hold on. Gonna copy this because I'm gonna, again, need some help on some
I got you.
Yep.
Thank
you.
So
it's Dratini, Bagon, Trapinch.
Oh, he found it.
Brain is farting on the freaking... What is this like?
Swablu, Gibble,
yeah.
Axew, Dino, Gumi,
Noibat,
Noibat,
Jangmo-o, Dreepy,
Dreepy.
Frigibax.
What the heck is that thing?
Frigibax.
Is that Frigibax?
Yeah, it's Frigibax.
Okay, he's the one who becomes Baxcalibur.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Dreepy's making this hard for me because I would have just said that the first two are incredible by themselves.
I love Dreepy, and his evolutions are very good.
I know. Dreepy's making it hard. What was Dreepy's final form?
Dragapult. That's it.
Dragapult, okay.
Which actually shoots out little Dreepies as missiles.
Mm-hmm. And he's Dragon Ghost, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that is the coolest types, basically.
I used him a lot in, I think it was Sword and Shield. Yeah.
That's where he debuted, yeah.
I think I'm actually going to go with Dreepy and Bagon. Yeah. Is Bagon what that guy was called?
Yeah.
The guy,
Turns into Salamence.
Yeah, because I always wanted to rename him Bagel.
Bagel, yeah. I just like that he looks like he could headbutt the crap out of something.
Hard.
I mean, I've got my two.
I'm lucky that I don't have many attachments after the first couple generations.
I'm going to go Dratini and Trapinch.
Okay.
Because...
Is that the little claw guy at the first row?
Well, because Dratini's evolved form Dragonite helped me beat my first Nuzlocke.
Oh, you gotta have your Nuzlocke hero. That is so important.
And I'm currently working on a Flygon to be my Ribbon Master. He started in Pokemon Coliseum. He got all the ribbons for Gen 3, and I'm currently working on the Gen 4 ribbons.
Okay.
So I've got to, get him. I think I could skip Gen 5 because there's no ribbons in that one. But right now I'm going through Pokemon Heart Gold again, so that way I can get...
Are you talking about ribbons for the beauty contest thing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
cool. But there's a reason that it has to start in Pokemon Coliseum, is because there's a ribbon that is only given to Pokemon that you purify from being Shadow Pokemon in that game.
Oh, wait, so is Coliseum like the GameCube game? You can still get things over from GameCube?
Because you can plug
that's
crazy. You can actually plug in your cartridge into the GameCube.
Yeah. So you do GameCube to Game Boy Advance, and then you do...
I forgot that there was the Game Boy Advance, like they used for Zelda 4 Swords. That's right.
And then you use a DS Lite to plug your Game Boy in the bottom, plug your DS game at the top, move it up to Gen 4, and then everything else is wireless from there. Gen 4 to Gen 5 is a wireless transfer. Gen 5 to Gen 6, you go through an app on the 3DS called Pokemon Transporter, and then that puts it into Pokemon Bank, which you could then transfer into Pokemon Home, and you could get them all the way in the modern games.
Okay, it's crazy. That is such a long road.
Convoluted as fuck, but it's possible.
But the fact that it's still possible that you could get any Pokemon from Gen 3 later on into the current game in some way is insane.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a little nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude.
And the reason I picked Flygon is because Flygon is consistently in all the games because they started not putting all the Pokemon in all the games.
Yeah.
That's smart.
God.
So, man, I know
that was a really cool answer, dude.
Someday I'll get him up to current. Someday I'll get him up to current gen. It's gonna take.
I wish this was eliminate 2 rather than only keep 2.
Right. What would you do if it was Eliminate too? That's a good starting point.
Dino and Swabble. It would be the two I would immediately get rid of.
Good choices.
Yeah,
You couldn't even remember Swabbler's name. That makes sense
that
to
one
me.
looks like a fucking bird. That doesn't look like a dragon.
Oh, Noibat?
No.
The Swablu with the clouds.
Oh, yes, Swabble.
Swabble.
Yeah.
He's not.
It looks like a bird.
He's actually not a dragon at that
But his
point. He
evolution
doesn't become a
is,
dragon
yeah.
until he evolves. Yeah.
But it's
And even
Trapinch
then,
isn't either.
Dragon, not a dragon.
Yeah, Trapinch is like an ant, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a ground. What is ground? Is he just pure ground?
He's ground. He's pure ground, and then when he evolves into Vibrabo, he becomes ground dragon.
Yeah.
Not even like flying. He has like the ability to levitate, so that way he could be a flying type without being a flying type.
He cheats.
He does cheat.
What elements is Flygon
So does
again?
Gengar technically.
Yeah. I think I know which two I'm going to keep, and I hate it because like I don't really want to get rid of Dratini or Bagon, but I feel like I have to for this. But I have to keep Gibble. That's the little bitey boy. I can't say no to that face.
Fair.
And then I do love Dreepy, so I'm going to keep Gibble and Dreepy.
Yeah. I kind of overlooked Gibble, but now that I think about your fascination for like just chompy little critters, including your own pet, like it makes sense because you have also enjoyed Totodil's head empty bites only
and
vibes.
his brother.
So the one Gibble, is that the one that turns into Garchomp eventually? Okay. Yeah, going with him because Garchomp is a bad
That's a
motherfucker.
good one.
The one on the right looks so familiar to me. Axiom, that's right.
Axiom Verge?
He's Gen 5. You get him in Pokemon Black and White.
Okay, so I think I recognize him from some ROM hacks then. I think I'm going to go with Garchomp, and I think my answer might be the same as Nate's and Dreepy. But then I really love Dratini.
Dratini was up hard out for me, too. That was like my third place.
I think just to be different, I'll go Gibble and Dratini.
Cool. Hard.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Yeah.
Man. All right.
Dratini has such a special place if you played from Gen 1 on, because he was the only dragon type. Like,
Yeah.
that was
It's
crazy.
the only dragon type that's actually a dragon because you look at freaking the Dragon Trainers team in the original Pokemon games and it's like Gyarados.
He has like Gyarados and Charizard or something.
No,
like
not,
Pokemon that look like
not
the
even. He's
dragons.
he's got Gyarados. He leads with Gyarados, and then it's
Right,
and
I
then I
remember that.
think it's Dragonair.
Yeah, that's right. He repeats one. It's just Dragonair, Dragonite.
Yeah,
at the
I think
end.
that's it. I think it's Gyarados, Dragonair, Dragonite.
that sounds right.
I think there's one more I'm forgetting, but there's so few dragons.
I
He
can look
has
it up.
to
What's his
repeat.
name? Blaine
Lance.
or who was the Lance?
Lance.
Lance was the joke one. Lance Pokemon.
I want to say he has 5, and his final is Dragonite.
You're correct.
I could check.
In that game, you also kill a man's Raticate.
Yep.
Well, there is some speculation that is very badly misunderstood, and that people are taking some lines that aren't actually in the game from fake screenshots into that.
Oh, I don't know about any lines. I just know that you defeat the dude on the ship with his Raticate, and then that Raticate never appears again.
Gary.
Yeah, but it's like he probably upgraded because no one's
That's
keeping
also
around,
true.
around that long.
Yeah, fair.
And then people fake a screenshot of him saying something to you in Lavender Town, like in the tower, but that's actually either not real or completely not related to the Raticate. He still had it at that time or something.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, so Willie, up next is your pick, my good sir. So I'm curious what your choice is going to be, since we're starting over the pick cycle. It's a new cycle, and you are up first.
It's a new day. Yes,
Yes,
it is. Well, I think it's fun that you're getting pretty close to moving into house cleaning, because I think next episode we should do some house flipping.
All right. So you want to do House Flipper?
Yes, I want to do House Flipper. We've already talked about how we're going to get the game off screen. Me and Dalton have with the DLCs, and Mikhailov, I think, intends to play just the base file.
Yeah, I found the base game for like $6 on
Really good
CD
discount,
keys,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna rock that.
I'll let you know if any of the DLCs seem necessary, but the only one I remember playing around with when I played it for like 10 or 15 hours was the Garden one, and you still get the free ones, so that's like the Apocalypse one and the Cyberpunk one or something. Those seemed like that they're like the early game ones anyway.
The Garden one seems like the only one I would really be interested in, so... If down the line,
landscaping
like in
does
the
sound
next
neat.
couple weeks, I find myself really enjoying the game, I'll probably spring for the Garden one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few different cool ones.
Yeah, so, there's like a HGTV themed one that actually, I think, has some of the hosts send you missions or something like that. I don't know anything about HGTV since I haven't had cable in several years.
Dude, okay, quickly, before we move on for the house cleaning, because A, I'm excited to play House Flipper, but B, my mom comes into my room the other day and she goes, so like, we have like this Xfinity stream thing, right? Like, you don't have cable in here, but you can just like download the app and then watch TV through that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I did that. Now I can watch wrestling. I'm like, what the fuck?
Nice.
I've been watching it forever. Right? So I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, man. So if you would be so kind as to go leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts, that would do us a huge solid in the algorithm. I do want to say we're still at 5 stars on iTunes, but we are at like 4.7 or so on Spotify. So, Spotify people, why don't you like us?
It's because you put your latest music album on there and they're not happy.
Like, this shit sucks. Fuck your podcast. If you'd like to join the Discord, bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Come in and join, man. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there all the time. There's some polls you can vote on to help get the games that you want to see or hear about on the show. Link to the website. You want to check out the website with all the backlog and all that. bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically. But most importantly, if you would be so kind as to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. If you donate $1 or more a month, you get the shows early. I say ad free, but apparently I spend time to put ads on the episodes and then they don't fucking play them. So like, I'm just going to stop doing that. So you get the episodes early and you get the random banter beforehand that is just for the Patreon sections themselves. But if you donate $10 or more a month, you get that plus your name read on each and every episode, like these wonderful, wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper, Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube. Also, he's a duck. Ariesoradam, shout out to the revival of his podcast, Revival and Extinction, Team Retrogue. Go check him out over on YouTube, but I'll let him talk about that in just a minute. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, Chad the Mad Lad, no goddamn C in your last name, Shaffer, Flyin, Brian, Doran, Gray, and the RPG Wolverine, Logan, Joreid. Other than that, I have music out there now that I'm at Bandcamp.com. Mikhailov, plug your shit.
Team Retrogue on YouTube. I am also now on Threads.
Ooh.
Hey!
For whatever reason.
Now that everyone's moved to Blue Sky, you've moved to Threads.
I'll get caught up eventually.
I'm just razzing you. I'm not that much younger than you. I'm just giving you old man treatment.
Other than that, I don't know. Retroid Pocket 5 review, hopefully coming soon whenever mine finally shows up. That's kind of the big thing that everybody's talking about right now. And I'm going to be talking about a couple of Pow Kitties in the near future, if you're interested in some Pow Kitty.
Yum, yum.
Speaking of, did you ever do one on the model that you sent me? Because it would be kind of fun to see what you did with it before I got it.
No, I didn't. That was...
Okay, cool.
That was kind of...
It just would have been a fun nostalgia thing.
That was kind of an impulse buy.
You got it
Yeah, it was kind of an impulse buy,
okay.
and I was going to do a review on it, and then like other stuff came up, so I just never got around to it. And I'm like, you know what? Willie would like this.
I still appreciate the gift. It was a great birthday gift. Still brings me a lot of happiness.
Aww.
Yeah. I just want to shout out Adam real quick, because he did bring back his Revival and Extinction podcast, and he put out a really good episode on the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, which I recommend you guys go check out, because that's such a fun little game, and I think he did a lot of justice talking about it.
Yay, Adam.
Yeah, I've got to check that out then. I really enjoyed that game, and I've listened to a couple of Revival and Extinctions when it was running, and he always seems to have a very thoughtful approach to games.
Yeah, Adam's a good dude, too. And while we're on the topic of plugging people, I want to give a shout out to one of my new favorite podcasts that absolutely cracks me up to listen to, and that is Dane and Jeff's Media Dump. Like, those boys make me laugh. I was listening to them on the way home from the zoo, and I'm driving just giggling like a fucking idiot because some of the things they talk about are just so dumb.
Yeah, their most recent episode on Shaun of the Dead. I haven't even seen that movie, but I've been listening to that when I've been driving, and they're just goofy motherfuckers. Good to listen to.
Yeah.
That is a great movie.
I don't know if it held up because I watched it when it was still pretty new, but I remember thinking it was pretty much the last zombie movie we needed ever.
Hey, Dane and Jeff, I know you're listening. Do an episode on Young Frankenstein. Gene Wilder, Terry Garr. I want to hear it.
That's a great movie. Yeah. And it's Frankenstein.
I just showed it to my AP kids because we just finished reading Frankenstein.
Nice.
Oh, that's so fun. That is a cool teacher move right there. You're a cool teacher.
No, you. Yeah.
I don't teach people shit.
Next,
I teach people what not to do.
You should read them Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then you should show them Dracula Dead and loving it.
Oh, dear. Yeah, possibly. I'm debating whether or not to have him read Bram Stoker's Dracula, because that would be an interesting comparison.
It's nowhere
And
near as
I
good
don't have a book for them right now.
Dracula is nowhere near as good a book as Frankenstein, and it's really hard to read. Like, the pacing and narrative in it is difficult to get through because it's told a lot through diary entries, and I just don't think that Dracula holds up nearly as well as Frankenstein.
Dracula's pacing is weird, too, because shit happens way earlier than you think it's gonna, and then nothing happens for a while. Like, it doesn't build the way you would expect. Like, if you read a lot of Poe, Lovecraft, and all that, you're expecting the constant rising tension. It's a little less of that and a little bit more build, release, build, release, build,
That's
release.
how I remember the BBC Dracula that they did, that released as a 3-parter. There's basically like 3 movies put together. But that's how I remember it being, is that like a lot of stuff happened in the beginning, like with Van Helsing and him, that I wouldn't have expected, and then there's like a flash forward to a future situation and things like it was just like a lot going on. But yeah, definitely a lot of ups and down roller coaster of emotion.
Well, even when Jonathan Harker's just there, he's like seeing like the women climbing, or Dracula climbing on the walls and the vampire women and all that shit. Like, it starts off like, oh, what's happening? And then, yeah, I think Nate's right. Whereas I feel like Frankenstein is still very readable.
Oh, it's still
when I read it in high school,
very approachable, even by today's standards.
Yeah.
My favorite recent memory of Dracula is actually the Tadpog episode where they play the Super Nintendo game Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah. And they watched the movie and they talked about the game, which is a good time. Go listen to that episode if you haven't. But then in the Tadpog Discord, one of them posts a meme that basically says Winona Ryder bouncing boobily down the stairs.
Bouncing boobily. I like that.
I want to say it was Ian who posted it.
It's this great meme, like, making fun of bad, like, fiction writing, where it says, like, character name, breasted boobily to the stairs and titsed her way down, or something like that.
Titsed her way down, Jesus Christ. All right then, boys. I guess we'll be back in about 2 weeks to talk about some House Flipper. And
all right.
Until then, I want everybody to go check out Dane and Jeff's Media Dump. Go check out JRPG Report. Go check out Team Retrogue over on YouTube. Go listen to Revival and Extinction. You are all wonderful people. I love you all, and take it easy.
I just got to see the gif Nathan said as breasting boobily down the steps, and yeah, that's pretty adequate. Damn it, I just got stingered.